Sound Off time now. Every day on Live at 3, we tackle one of the day's big issues with our colleague. He's back from News Radio 620 WTMJ, Jeff Wagner.
The recall petition against Governor Scott Walker is coming under more controversy. At least 9 journalists from the Post-Crescent newspaper in Appleton signed those petitions. The newspaper publisher apologized to readers this weekend in an open letter, which begs this question, our Sound Off question today. Should reporters be allowed to sign recall petitions, and probably allowed by their employers.
Right. Does it affect their journalistic integrity? Because actually, a total of 25 reporters, journalists from the Gannett publications across the state apparently signed them. They're not releasing their names yet, although they did issue a public apology. Before we go to the calls, let me ask you two. I don't pretend to be a journalist. I'm a commentator and a pundit. Do you think either one of you, do you think it's appropriate for you to sign recall petitions?
I mean, I was asked to sign petitions, and I begged off. I mean,
why not?
Because I don't think it's appropriate.
Bias.
I don't think it's appropriate for us to be expressing.
I mean, we're not allowed
names
to do.
Publicly out there.
We're not allowed to do. Go to any kind of a political fundraiser, which I think is kind of the same thing.
Campaign contributions are a no-no for us.
Would you put up a yard sign on your front yard?
No, can't do that.
You can't do that.
Same thing. So it's pretty clear. You think, at least from an ethical standpoint, it's a pretty clear rule.
You learn that in journalism school.
Although it was pretty weird that when I had to decline to sign a petition, they thought, oh, you must be a Walker supporter if you don't want to sign our petition. So you're kind of painted into a corner there, that whether you sign it, whether you don't, people can read something into it.
Now, I know our company sent out a reminder to everybody when this was going on that it's one thing if, I have a very special job category, but for reporters and anchors, it was very clear that it would be a violation of our policies, right? Okay, let's start with Denise in Brookfield.
I definitely think reporters should be able to sign recall petitions. I think it's ridiculous thinking to think that reporters who are people don't have political opinions. And I think signing a petition does not change their political opinion. A petition might show people what their opinion is, but it doesn't change their opinion. They should be professional enough to maintain a neutral thinking process for their job, but what they do on their own time, I think, is totally fine.
And the problem with that is that the state is so politicized right now, even though you can make the argument that, yes, everybody does bring their own personal opinions to the table. We're professionals, we're supposed to be able to rise above that. Try convincing this state right now that you're above your opinions.
Well, it's not just right now, but I think it would be in general. Any state
especially right now, as politicized as it is.
But that's why, but you do vote. We don't ask, you do vote, right?
That's true.
Yeah, but we don't ask you how you vote, and it's not a public record.
Right, that's the key difference.
Got it.
Not public.
Here's John in Cedarburg.
I absolutely believe reporters should be able to voice their opinion and as well as sign a recall petition. The reason being that reporters should be able to sign a recall is, although the news is apparently objective and neutral, the perspective that reporters view it from is subjective from their viewpoint. Therefore, their private life, they should have the right to be able to sign a recall or voice their opinion.
Of course, like you say, though, the problem is making that differentiation because, your work, whether you're a print reporter or whether you're a TV journalist or whatever, is always going to be scrutinized, analyzed, including by people like me, looking for bias. And if you've identified where you are, that just, arguably makes the bias clear.
I think it feeds into it.
Yeah.
I think it feeds into it.
Which is why, from an ethical standpoint, even though you're allowed to vote, you're not supposed to come out and publicly identify with or without against a candidate. Here's Judy in West Dallas.
If these reporters, which I'm sure they are of legal age, certainly they should have the right to sign a recall petition. That is their right to do so. I'm
surprised so many people are in support of this. Maybe just because we're on the other side and it's always been ingrained in us. You're not allowed to do this.
It's a very clear, it's a black line rule, right?
And we're the ones that have to bear the consequences of it happening, either through our company or from losing the public trust.
I know reporters who don't vote for exactly this reason. I know people who make the decision not to vote because they don't want to be publicly identified with this. They're afraid it shows bias. Interesting.
All right. Let's head over to Storm Team forecaster Brian.